The 10-minute talent rant is live. I'm James Hornick, joined by Jeff Smith, and we are on the clock. The 10-minute talent rant is our ongoing series where we break down things that are broken in the talent acquisition and hiring space, maybe even pitch a solution or two. I think we got some this week. Before we dig in, all of our content can be found on talentinsights.hirewall.com. This week's topic, lame recruiting takes that need to die.
Not as flamethrowy, but
Well,
tangentially flamethrowy.
Kinda, yeah. Do you ever feel like the recruiting, we're just kind of stuck in neutral, the recruiting industry? Like years go by, we have the same issues over and over again. And I guess is that true? Or is it we just talk about the same stuff like it's Groundhog Day? And when I say we, I mean collectively the we, recruiters and talent acquisition, even job seekers and career coaches on social media and everywhere else. It's the same talking points brought up again and again. And you see someone post it, then you start giving your take, and it just kind of becomes this big recycling thing.
Yep.
Here's my hot take on hot takes. We need to get past the things that are non-issues or the things that have already been solved that people haven't realized that keeps us from talking about like the real stuff that propels the industry forward.
Yeah, you get stuck talking about recruiting specific stuff as a recruiter, but I do think that LinkedIn is inundated with specific recruiting bad takes. Our good friend Aaron Riska sent a comment over when you put your post out for the promo, and the whole idea of the hiring is broken take. Like, we get it. It's the dumbest of all dumb takes.
It's not actually saying anything. You're just yelling into the clouds once again. Anyways.
Yeah. So we compiled this list, right? No particular order, so we don't take more egregious offense to one over the other, but we just kind of wanted to walk through these. So you want to get us started on number one?
Yeah, let's get us started. And there's a couple of these where I think it's fair to keep making more takes with a couple parameters, a few specifics. But first one, the Great Resignation. I was so over this like a year ago. It's the most overused word. It's the laziest take to start talking about. Anybody who's wanted to make a job change in the last 18 months has already. Plus, I think this whole, unless you've been living under a rock for the last 2-3 months, it's kind of over. Layoffs have started. The market is starting. Everything's kind of normalized a bit. It's just been beaten to death more than any issue I can remember. And newsflash, companies that are losing people, they know they're losing people. They don't need you to remind them. Yeah, they know it's their company. The people are it's not like you're doing them a favor by talking this stuff over and over again. Anyways, I digress. Moving on.
And they're probably okay with it at this point. If they haven't changed their business model around it and they're still producing revenue, they don't really care. So yeah. Hey, how about those firm handshakes? We get
101. Yeah,
social norms are, you want to be familiar with them. It's good.
Great.
We don't have to.
Riveting stuff.
Yeah, exactly. How to get past the ATS, as if the ATS is this AI, juggernaut, this supercomputer that's bucketing and decide. Newsflash. HR technology, a topic we've already touched on, is the most archaic, dumb technology in all of technology.
It's basically an Excel sheet.
Literally, it's an Excel sheet that just looks better.
How dumb do you sound if you say you can't get past the Excel sheet? Because that's ultimately what's really happening.
Yeah. And so in seriousness, this is something that needs to be said. I think there is this notion that candidates can't get past this amazing gatekeeper, and it literally is not doing that. It's a volume thing with less recruiters. There's just not enough people getting through this stuff.
The next one, the green LinkedIn open to work banner.
This is a little flamethrowy.
This one just keeps coming back. We're talking about data before, so there's actual data on this. There's no discussion to be had based upon this data. Just published, How to Improve Your In-Mail Response Rates According to LinkedIn Data, authored by Greg Lewis, Content Marketing Manager at LinkedIn. This was published May 22nd, I believe. So it's fresh. It's like a week or two old. Messages sent to banner candidates get a 35% higher response rate. Period. That's it. Recruiters use it because job seekers respond to it. There's literally nothing else to discuss here.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I want to talk to candidates who are going to be more engaged. The banner helps me do that.
Next topic, the value and non-value of degrees and certifications. So here's the thing. It's not that this topic is bunk. I think it's actually an important topic. But the hot takes we consistently see with zero data actually backing them up is what we need to kind of put an end to. It's not impossible to start backing these with, like, instead of just like spouting off an opinion, but actually like backing these things with hiring numbers, job numbers per skill set, the salaries people are getting with or without a degree or with without a certification. It makes it pretty clear cut where they are. Now it's time consuming. I didn't look at dozens of skill sets and salary ranges and who has degrees for this 10-minute rant we went on.
Yeah.
But I can say that, for an example, right now, we are currently placing software engineers with no degrees at market rates. That's a fact.
Fact.
So you can extrapolate from there and have further discussions, but like talking about this stuff without doing any research before you further this point along is a complete waste of time. It's just baseless opinions. But it would be good if we can start just adding data to those opinions so we can make them a little more intelligent and thoughtful.
Yeah. Conversely, at the entry level for business-centric roles, like, sure, then you can start talking about the value of a degree. You're going to see that in the data anyway. Okay. Yeah. The value, the utility of cover letters, thank you letters, or literally any damn letter whatsoever. Like the notes say yawn. I'm not going to do the yawn, but it's a non-topic. No one needs any more advice on what to include. I would argue this kind of goes back to the social norm stuff with the handshake. We're not for or against this stuff. There's no right or wrong way. It's common sense that a well-crafted human message for any of these things is potentially going to be useful. I worry that the talking heads out there, they say like, oh, you got to bank on this. Like it's going to get you from point A. There's no silver bullet. Like you don't know what I'm going to react to or what James is going to react to or what the next recruiter is going to react to. Yes, it's helpful. Is it the end all be all? It's
just so basic. Basic. Anyways, next one that comes up, ghosting. Did I ever tell you the story about this? I don't know if you remember one of the first time I was on the news locally here in Chicago.
I remember.
It was on ghosting. What's funny is that the Fox Chicago, they interviewed me because their producer or someone was putting together a story because they had heard that there was a big problem with ghosting, right? So I'm thinking, okay, they're going to talk about, they want to hear about companies ghosting on campus. No, it was the opposite.
Yeah.
There was apparently an epidemic of people who were ghosting on interviews and not showing up to jobs. And they were shocked to discover when I was kind of talking with them in the interview that the problem is just as bad, if not worse, on the opposite side. Companies ghosting on candidates and not responding after interviews. It's as if it's a human condition. It's an issue where there's conflict avoidance and people hate giving bad news. And when things make people uncomfortable, they tend to just run away from them instead of addressing them head on. I mean, it's why family, friends, relationships, like literally every single person out there listening to this right now has ghosted someone else in their past and has been ghosted on. The real issue is maybe let's have a discussion about, like, if you're in the interview process or you're interviewing someone, how you can proactively find strategies to make people feel more comfortable being open about giving bad news is the real conversation we need to be having, not stop ghosting and just yelling at people.
Right. Yeah.
Just a thought.
Yep. Remote work. I mean, look, yeah, I'm going to go there. We went there. We've run this into the ground, but like, I mean, right in the ground. It's simple. If you're hybrid or on site and you can hire, great, do it.
Yeah, not even saying you shouldn't do it. That's not even saying you shouldn't have people in the office if you can hire.
The point is, if you can't hire and you're looking at this from a hybrid or on site, you're literally data limiting yourself to 1.5% of the total talent pool. We've linked it. We've talked about it ad nauseum. Small funnels.
Data. It's amazing.
Data.
Yeah. Last one. This one was crowdsourced, and I'm going to butcher her name, but I'm going to give her credit anyways. So Kelly Hrivnak. I've never actually tried to pronounce her name before. I've seen it a million times, but now I feel like an idiot because I probably said that wrong.
Kelly, let us know if it's wrong.
Yeah. Entry-level jobs shouldn't require 2 to 3 years of experience. This is a really dumb topic. I'll take not understanding job board experience classifications and conflating them with actual required experience for 1,000, Alex.
Yes, a bazillion.
So here's how it works. Some of these job boards, they bucket 0 to 2 years or 0 to 3 years experience. Then they bucket 4 to 6. Then they bucket 7 to 10. So when companies post things on job boards and they want a 2-year person, it will automatically go under the 0 to 1 or 0 to 2 year of experience classification. It was never an entry level job. It just fell in when you filtered by 0 to 2, it just fell into the same things. And people conflate that with they want 2 years of experience with an entry level person. I'm not saying it never happens, but I'm 99, I guess I shouldn't throw out bullshit data. Almost all the time. Take a look. You'll have a really hard time finding things that are actually advertised as entry level and requiring 2 years experience, but you will find a lot of things classify that under job boards if you look at the filters. Anyways.
Exactly.
Fixes. Let's get into this. Ironically, a lot of these based upon our previous rants. It's kind of weird.
Totally weird.
But let's challenge ourselves to address some real problems. Things like, kick us off here, Jeff.
Better tech, talked about it. We rely on garbage, we, the industry. There's a propensity for us, our industry, to worry about automation. The point is we want more automation to accentuate the actual human conversations that we are having that is actually valuable. Number 2, there should be better processes internally. We should be looking at things from a project perspective and not just yelling across the table about, where are my candidates? Why aren't the funnels filled? We get caught in these, echo chambers, and all it really takes is to put on your project manager mind and figure out how to get from point A to point B.
Yeah. Better business models. Let's talk about this. Systemic problems are typically caused by structure, and recruitment industry has been addicted to the contingent model and other things forever. And there's lots of other models that are emerging here and there. Let's talk about those. Let's talk about maybe new ideas people aren't even trying out yet. But that's, if you want to make a dent, that's how you do it. The problem in my mind, and especially in the mind of job seekers, I would have to say better targeting and better messaging and how to scale it. How do we target more relevant people? How do we target the right people with the right message at scale? These are the conversations that would do amazing things for the industry if we're having these more often, getting really granular with them, because that's how we can really move the needle, push things forward in the eyes of job seekers.
Yep. And finally, more inclusivity. And yeah, we're talking about DEI and underrepresented populations, marginalized populations, but I think talking more openly about people who are making career pivots, changes, combating ageism. There's all sorts of folks out there that can think about a problem in a unique way. It would behoove us all to put ourselves in a situation where we're all helping each other out by having open discussions about things. Weird, I know.
Yeah, and we are short on clock. Thanks for tuning in to the close to 15-minute talent rant, part of the Talent Insights series. I did not think this would be a long one. Anyways, always available for replay on talentinsights.hireable.com, as well as YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon. Jeff, thanks again as always. Everyone out there, we'll see you soon.